This is the Trek Fetch Plus 2 e-cargo bike. And believe it or not, but I was just as excited to test this cargo bike as any of the high-end road machines or gravel bikes that I'm usually tasked with. I was really curious to see not only if this bike could do better than a car in the city, but how it compared with my regular commuter bike with panniers. I should give you a bit of background. We were actually car-free up until about 2 years ago. We would rent when we needed to or use car shares, but we're pretty good at getting around and getting everything done on 2 wheels. So I thought, maybe we're a bit advanced for the Fetch Plus. It turns out that's not the case. The Fetch Plus actually expanded what we can do on 2 wheels. Let's take getting to school. My 9-year-old can pedal to school easily. It's fun for both of us. But they really get a kick out of being shuttled in the back of the Fetch Plus. These panniers each hold 44 liters. There's also the family pack kit. Those are these bars here with extra support and the padding. They can hold 2 children, each weighing about 80 pounds. However, you cannot put one 160-pound person in the back of the Fetch Plus. Trust me, I asked Trek. I thought it would be a great idea, but no. It has to be 2 young ones, 80 pounds or less. Thanks to the Bosch pedal assist drive unit, both my kid and I can get up to about 32 kilometers per hour on this bike. That allows us to maintain speeds that we don't usually cruise at. And as any grown-up who's pedaled with a young rider in the city knows, that often it feels like you're biking for 2 at the same time. You're saying things like, slow down, look out, ring your bell, pass on the left, no, the other left, and stuff like that. It adds a bit of time to the ride, but when you're in a hurry and your little one is in the Fetch, you can travel at a smoother speed as it's just you in control as you head through the city. Now, my family and I aren't the only ones who've been testing this bike. Also, my colleague has been taking it for a spin, and he's been shuttling a bunch of kids around. And what my colleague noted is that when you have 2 of them and they're jostling and bumping, it can make things a bit wobbly, especially at slower speeds. If you are at a stoplight, really you should have both feet planted on the ground. He took his child and friend to a camp on the waterfront, and what struck me about that was how easy it was for him to park. Yes, he could roll on up to this very busy section of town, park the bike easily, get his kids off to where they needed to go, and then he was off to work. Now, on the topic of parking, it's not always that simple. This is a pretty big bike. Its wheelbase is 136.5 centimeters. So to compare that, it is about 10 centimeters longer than an extra large mountain bike. And it's anywhere from 36 to 40 centimeters longer than a road bike. It weighs 42.1 kilograms. So if you have to take this up a step or 2, that is a big effort. While this bike is amazing for zipping through the city, when it comes time to storing it, it can be a bit of a challenge. I was really pushing my luck with my condo building's bike parking regulations. The drive unit on the bike is the Bosch Performance Line Cargo. It can give you 85 Newton meters of torque. For context, that's in the range of many e-mountain bikes, so it's a lot of power when you need it. I found it very useful for getting started because the bike weighs a lot, your cargo adds a lot of weight, and so having that pedal assist really helps you to get into motion. It has a 500 watt-hour battery, so that's a lot of juice to power the drive unit. In practical terms, I rode this bike for 9 days with various levels of assist. In 9 days, that's how long it took for me to fully drain the battery, and I got about 70 kilometers worth of distance. There are LEDs on the bike that indicate the level of charge of the battery, but if you really want to manage your range anxiety, you can download an app and it gives you pretty accurate range estimates. Actually, your smartphone can act as a head unit at the front of the bike as you're booting around town. So as I've mentioned, this bike is great for shuttling children, but of course it can haul a lot of other stuff too. Tons of groceries, more groceries than I can carry with my regular commuter bike and panniers. Trips to the park can include just about every bit of sporting equipment we own, including folding chairs for the parents. The Trek Fetch Plus 2. It can make a lot of family trips a lot easier and a whole lot more fun.